if there's one thing that I want you to really take away from this video, probably the only thing you really need, to be honest, is that, let's just say you had a week, actually no, if you had a day, 24 hours to live, like you just found out right now, whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter, that you had exactly 24 hours to live, and assuming you don't freak out and panic and freeze up or whatever, you found out you have 24 hours to live, what would you do? And go deep with this question. What are you doing? What things do you want to do? What things can you do? What things do you want to do, but you realistically can't in that time frame? Who are you going to talk to? Who are you going to spend time with? Who are you going to try and fix things with? Who are you going to try and, spend more time with, Like, what are you going to do? This is a question I can't answer for you. It's one you have to, the more deeper you go into it, the better, because the concept of death is something that we all know about, we're all aware of, but it's something we really aren't, if you think about it. Like the phrase, you're going to die one day. I'm sure you've heard that quite a few times, and often now, at least for me, I feel like the more I hear that, the more it isn't as impactful as the first time you sort of hear it. Because, yeah, we know death is coming, but if you're like me and you're still young, chances are you've got ages to go before that you have to even consider death. And that's both a blessing and a curse. Because the truth is, time is your most valuable currency. And it's nice to know that we probably have a lot of time left to do things and try this and try that. But I say it's a curse because it causes us to stay in the comfort zone. It causes us to procrastinate. Because there's always more time left. It's the thing that causes us not to do what we really want to do. Because the ultimate consequence is not on the line yet. But like I just said, time is the most valuable thing that every individual has. And only you are in control of whether you want to give that away to others, whether you want to reserve it for yourself and invest it, like how you treat money in a sense, I suppose. Or if you want to use it wisely on the things that actually benefit you and others, instead of, spending your time on a job you don't really like at all. But because you've got so much time left, you're too afraid to, you spend some time putting in the extra work and maybe getting a job that you actually like a bit more and can actually tolerate and enjoy, and that's better for your mental state and whatever. Because this curse of staying in the comfort zone, that there's always more time left, causes us to settle for less, to not do the things we actually want to do, to not push ourselves because they're scary, uncomfortable, and we haven't got that looming consequence of death around the corner yet. So yeah, we stay comfortable. We don't push ourselves. But ultimately, that just makes us suffer more in the long run. It's the reason why people have midlife crises. It's the reason why people feel stuck in life. It's the reason why people get depressed, develop anxiety, and why, especially, I think, why people find it really hard to actually love themselves and respect themselves, and they don't know why, but the truth is it's because they can't respect and love themselves if they know they're not at least trying to reach their full potential. And that's the curse of always thinking that there's more time left, because the longer you leave it, not only do you waste more time, waste your most precious thing that was given to you, but it just doesn't make you happy. Trust me, you don't want to, 20 years from now, come to the sudden realization that you could have done this, you could have done that, you should have done this. And obviously there's that side of having, managing your expectations for yourself and having realistic expectations. That's a separate rant. But those feelings are real and they mean something. And you don't want to feel that, especially if you haven't got a lot of time left. So, regardless of how much time you have left, you need to keep that concept of death in your head. I know it can be scary. I know it can be a bit depressing, you know, a bit anxiety inducing or whatever, but it ultimately is liberating because it makes you use your time more wisely. You know, when you're too afraid to ask that person out, you go, fuck it, I'm gonna die one day. You know, that's obviously a way bigger problem, so why not at least try? When you're too afraid to, you know, try that new skill, start going to the gym, or pick up a new hobby that, you know, will cost you a bit of money, or, you know, will set you back a bit, or this and that, or whatever excuses in the back of your head, you can always just say, fuck it, I'm gonna die one day. Let's just do it. That's obviously a much bigger problem. You know, when you're too afraid to even make a major life decision, to try something, try a new career that could potentially make you fail, and realistically you could fail. You could just say, fuck it, I'm gonna die one day, and worst case scenario, if I fail, well then I've got that new life experience. You know, nothing's gonna last forever. And trust me, I don't know about you, but I'd rather die knowing that I've failed a shit ton of times and had all those experiences and learnt a lot from that than not trying at all, than just settling for an okay job, you know. Just, I don't want to say being average because, no, this is another separate rant, but the most of life is just going to either way be mundane or average anyway, and there's nothing wrong with that, and I think there's a lot of value in that. Again, that's a separate rant, but what I'm trying to say is, just try. Just do. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to succeed on everything because, again, like I mentioned, there's so much value in failing. But the truth is, you're going to die one day and you're going to have so much more self-love, respect for yourself ultimately, all throughout your life, if you just try and always keep that concept of death in mind, that you have limited time, that your time is slowly running out, and you've got to be really careful and really smart how you spend it, just like something like money. Alright, every yes costs something. Every no also sort of costs something, but it also helps you reserve your time better. And so, coming back to what I said at the start of the video, frequently ask that question: if I had 24 hours a week, 1 hour to live, what would I do? And then I need you to get what you write down, really break it down, you know, like what I said at the start of this video. What are the things I want to do but I know I can't do? What regrets will I know I have? What can I do realistically in that time? And what will I do? Who will I spend this time with? I need you to really break this question down. Spend as much time as you can with it. And then take that and you go, you know, what can I do from now on to employ these things into my day-to-day life? Because obviously you can't... There's a lot of caveats to this and there's a lot of life circumstances. You know, it's unrealistic to just drop everything, but everybody typically can get at least 1 hour a day, a few hours a week, to, you know, just do what they really want to do. And something is better than nothing. Your ego might say something like, oh, that's not enough, this is this, blah, 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 I'm going to be tired from it. Mate, just do it. A little bit is better than nothing. Something is better than absolutely nothing. So just do it. Just try. And fail. Win. Whatever happens, you actually did it. And that's way better, statistically way better than most people. So yeah. Just try. Time is your best friend and also your most valuable currency. And because of that, you ultimately love yourself and respect yourself and be the person you actually want to be, which not only is something that most people can't do, but it will then become something that you'll be able to share with others and teach others. So, why not? Alright, sorry for the rant, but yeah. Hope you're having a good day and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.